Hello, welcome to Reflexive Moon Tarot. Thank you so much for checking out my channel here. My name is Sarah, and I will be hosting your reads for tonight and doing things a little bit differently, streaming live on YouTube versus Twitch. So let's get into this right now. I'm going to unbox a deck as well. I think we have the Garbage Pail Kids tarot deck, but first we'll get into setting some intentions, getting the space nice and warmed up, a little bit lit up in here. Some lovely smelling incense going. And right now we are waning. The moon is waning. We are waning with the moon in Gemini. So lots of creativity, creative energy, and very smart. Geminis are very smart, so stimulating our intellect, hopefully not subscribing to too much gossip, and also channeling the duality within us, that masculine and feminine energy, that self-love type of energy, dark and light, however you want to see it. There's multiple ways that occur at the same time. Please excuse my cold. I have been suffering a little bit for a couple of days, no big deal. And maybe I don't want to use this deck. I think we'll actually set the tone with an oracle card from Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket, and then we'll get lit with the Space Tarot after we unbox the Garbage Pail Kids. But we'll set some intentions, we'll do a general read, and get into this awesomeness we call Saturday night. Girl, I'm not really into, I usually take these cards out, the girl and boy, just so we don't subscribe to binary thinking. But feminine energy, let's honor some feminine energy, because it is divine, it is sacred, we all have it. And then owl, thank goodness, reversed. So I mean, in this deck it usually means wisdom, but when it comes to like culturally relevant meanings of the owl, it's not really seen highly upon where I come from. And then we have foot. So struggling to be grounded in our feminine energy. I mean, like, let's fucking talk about patriarchy and what is wise about that. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Pretty much nothing. So we'll do a general reading. Usually when I'm on Twitch, I do a general read for the VOD, but this is YouTube, so it is, I guess, also a VOD on some level. But got the Deviant Moon, Trionfi Della Luna Paradoxical Illustrated Pips Edition. That's a mouthful right there. That is a mouthful. So a general reading for the viewers out there. If you're tuning into this, maybe this message is for you. Maybe it isn't. Don't try to make it what it isn't. That's my most powerful advice, I feel like. That's any good tarot reader's most powerful advice. Take what works for you, works with you, and leave the rest. The Tower. So someone is about to have a tower moment, or maybe this is you in the middle of a tower moment on some level. There we go. Fabulous. So what's great about this deck is that it also looks awesome because it's like an X-ray kind of edition. Underneath the black light, I'm just gonna plug this deck a little bit. Underneath the black light, it does light up a bit. It looks better in person than it does on the screen that way. So this could be you, present day, going through a tower moment. So things are crashing down, things are changing, and they're doing it whether you are going against the grain or not, whether you are liking it or not. This is happening. Something is coming to an end for us, which is great because sometimes, you know, that's basically how we change, right? And then we have the Six of Coins. So channeling some energy that is centered in generosity and philanthropy. Not being cheap anymore. Maybe you don't want to be cheap anymore. Maybe you're compelled to not be cheap anymore because you can't really afford to. And maybe actually you've been in the past a little bit too generous with your energy, with your money, and it's time for you to start holding on for yourself. Kind of like that Four of Pentacles energy, but not in a hoardy kind of way. So not like being generous with yourself. I feel like it might be the time for you. But this also could be some past influences. And this, as if it is an influence, you know, it's the influence of perhaps help that other folks have given you. And then we have the Nine of Wands. So standing your ground. So either within, you're defending yourself, like if you're looking at this as above and so below at the same time, like you're defending yourself, you're defending who you are, what you stand for. Like there's some type of defense happening, and it is possibly you know, a bit tiresome on some level. You may feel like you've been doing this for a long time, defending yourself or going against the grain. And it might be high time for you to sort of let your guard down. And, you know, these two in combination kind of have a Ten of Wands vibe, where your load is a heavy burden that you bear, and it might be, you know, you might want to start thinking about how you're going to repurpose things that are working for you, projects that are working for you, or maybe thinking about new ideas, or what it is, whatever it is that you're going to put down in order to come up with some new stuff and manifest some new things. Who's that? I can't remember that person on Instagram. It's called Manifesting. Look it up. All right, so the Three of Coins. Subconsciously. So this is within. This is truly within you. You know, this is more like the overlooking the situation, bird's eye view. Also like what is above, you know, that reflects what is within. So we have the Nine of Pentacles with the Three of Coins. And, you know, being basically a busy bee subconsciously, that's what, you know, that's at the core of your desires is what's the word? Developing your skill set. And developing it in a way that is like fine-tuning your skill set. So if you already have existing skills, it's about fine-tuning them or having the confidence to, you know, go like take them to the next level. It's like a leveling up kind of vibe also with the Three of Coins. And this can also have everything to do with your social network. So wealth is all about social security as well. So networking is something that you might be doing, or even on a personal level, making new friends. And it could be that you want to make new friends as well. That's real. There's The pandemic has really made and broken quite a few situations for a lot of people, I'm sure, myself included. All right, so we're going to look at the past a little bit. The past or hidden forces that you may not be cognizant of on some level. So we have the Queen of Coins. So in your past, there could have been a person that you that may have influenced you in a good way, or who's just been there for you. This could be like a mother figure. It could also be you. Like, this really could be so many things, but it really, when it's a court card, it's specific to an actual person. So you're really good at making money, or you've really been able to, like, you're privileged in some type of way, whether you've had good examples of money makers, or say, for example, you have one or more generations who have, worked their way up, say, in post-secondary education, or, like, you have successful people in your life you're surrounded with. Or at least one person. So it's not something that you have never seen, which is really important, because it really takes, I don't know why I'm moving to that, but like, it's kind of like it takes a village to raise a good career focused person. So yeah, I think that you're, like, it sounds like what this card is telling you is that you're more ahead than what you think you might be. So don't sell yourself short on any level. And then immediately within the near future, we have this Four of Swords coming through. So after this sort of like these are definitely linked on some level. Like giving your mind a rest, or giving yourself an opportunity to go through like a rebirthing process, or almost like, but like more of a focus on the death process, where you're chilling out and looking at your situation from above and assessing the situation and realizing, where you could have changed, where you may have gone wrong, situations you may have been involved in or implicated in, and also situations that, that you may not have really had a huge hand in. For example, like, I really think it's important to not sell ourselves short or feel guilty for nothing, as well as taking responsibility for actions that we have taken. I think it's really important to take a good and serious look at that, and just really have a good balance. And, especially with this Tower card, like, balance is key. It doesn't all come crashing down, and like, a clean slate is real, but I really think it's important to, along with your clean slate, is the gift of knowing where you have done right, where you have done wrong, and where you didn't really have any control over the situation. And then your attitude is it's solid, it's grounded. We got this raw earthly energy that is driven and focused on career, health, and making money. So money might not be in abundance for you at this time. That may be part of your goal, is being abundant enough to have control over, massive wealth that is meant to be spread and shared freely, which would be great. And let's have some perfect world conversations, And then we have Judgment. So interestingly, for whatever reason, people within your circle may feel like you're not getting the message. There's messages that you are missing, and that could be the case. That could definitely be the case. It could also mean that you're not in the right environment where you're able to receive the messages that are meant for you. You need to switch it up and get yourself out there which, you know, is not always the most accessible thing for everybody, but switching up your surroundings is a great start. If you have any kind of social barriers, any kind of barrier, like, figure out what your access needs are so that you can get yourself in a place where you're receiving these messages. And, you know, having the confidence and, you know, the understanding that we're all worthy of being in spaces that support us to be who we are is super important. And it's a true gift to be able to know that. So I hope that everybody who is watching this gets that message, receives that message. All right, so fears are centered in not changing. I don't think we have a whole lot to worry about. I feel like change is, you know, it's being presented in a way that is happening no matter what. But our fear is that we're not going to change maybe enough, or, you know, that it might be painful, or that we may harm others in the process. So these are all healthy fears, and they aren't necessarily going to manifest. So try not to focus on them. Don't be afraid of change. And, you know, it's easier said than done, right? Like, we have anxiety is real, right? Especially with this 9 here. I mean, the 9 of Swords is the anxiety card, but, you know, being over defensive and too careful can also be linked to that as well, out of fear. I don't know why this card was up, but we have the 2 of Wands. So recognizing that you have that it factor. Confidence. This is the card of confidence. It's the card of growth. It's the card of setting goals. And then we have the 6 of Wands. So championing and being celebrated on some level. And having somebody who's got your back as well. People who are behind you in whatever it is that you stand for. So with that, let us move on from this group or collective reading. This waning moon in Gemini reading. My goodness, this cold business is pretty uncool. So let's unbox this Garbage Pail Kids deck, and then we'll get into some zodiac specific reads. I think that is the best plan for tonight. All right, this is gonna be fun. I'm confident that this is gonna be fun. I need to invest in some YouTube friendly music though. I feel like that's on the list. Okay, we have Garbage Pail Kids. I found this, I believe, on Amazon. I will post a link in the description box so that it will be easy for you all to access. It's gonna be so fun. So, like, total childhood nostalgia, 100% is the reason why I got this. I got a couple of decks, so we'll be doing some unboxing. A couple of unboxings over the next few reads, and already I am happy with this fun artwork. I don't know the origin story of Garbage Pail Kids. I know obviously it's a Cabbage Patch Kid, but did it come from Mad Magazine? It looks like it's that, but that's a good question. But, you know, always been a fan of the Garbage Pail Kids. I remember going to the convenience store as a child and buying decks of cards and stickers and sticking the stuff all over the place, and my parents weren't crazy about it. So we have also a few, I like this, there's some spreads, extra spreads that are specific to the deck. Maybe I'll take a crack at one of those in the near future. Regular, standard tarot deck box. Nothing too fancy. Cardstock is kind of, you know, it's like the regular standard matte finish. Not my favorite. I find it to be a little bit thick. And well, yeah, let's get into checking out these cards though. So we have the Fool. This interesting. I can see how Buddhists might find this a bit offensive, I'm not gonna lie. Here we go, we have the Fool taking the plunge in a loving Hoti-Buddha way. We have the Magician. These cards are fun and colorful, I'll give it that. And I would say that this is a little bit more of an advanced deck. It does not have all like the... So advanced in terms of like if you're to compare it to a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. You're not going to see all of the old symbolism. Although here with the Hierophant, that's real. A little bit. It's so cute, oh my gosh. Looks like kind of like Bernie Smurf, but a Cabbage Patch Kid. But a Garbage Pail Kid. So these are cute. We have the Chariot. The Hermit almost looks like an end. Oh, I like this Tower card. It's almost like the lightning. But there is no actual lightning. I like it's a tree though. I think that is traditional to like an original Marseille deck. I could be wrong though. And the Star card is cute. Oh my gosh, I love this. King of Cups. Oh, Queen of Cups is a little mermaid. Ace of Cups. Yeah, so this deck is definitely a keeper. Like, I want to use this deck. Sometimes, like, the collector decks that I get, I go through it and it turns into a collector's item. It just kind of ends up sitting there, but it's fun when you actually want to use it. And if you're hardcore about the decks that you collect, you actually use one and then buy another one. As your true collector's item. That's not really my jam though. That's funny. Some of the messages on these cards are, you can just see them without it being 100% specific to what you're used to or what I'm used to. Oh, that's so cute. So I guess my biggest critique is my usual critique of most tarot decks. Too much, not enough diversity, I should say. Not enough diversity, unfortunately. But still a little fun walk down memory lane with some cute cards. And one day, the world will get it right on a regular basis. At least that's what I hope for. So, with that, let's move into some lit reads for the zodiacs. Now, it's a lot to go through 12 zodiacs. I think we'll just do 4 readings for all of the elements. So let's turn on these lights here and get lit. Here we go. Fun. Okay. So we are using the trusty Psychedelic Space Tarot again this time around. And we'll start with water signs. We have the King of Wands. So your fire, your water is putting out your fire right now. If you want to get balanced, you need to be able to have a fire lit so you can stay warm, water signs. This could also be a person in your life that your watery nature is putting out their fire. Or, unfortunately, their fire is already put out and completely incapable of seeing your awesomeness as a reflection of what they're capable of. So they're jealous. The King of Wands is naturally a jealous person and a ruiner, I would say, on account of it. This person is really lacking in confidence, and if they are spiteful or really like overcome by their resentment and get nasty, you need to stay away from this person. So just be careful. And if they're not that way, but they're still like, their self-esteem is really low, or they're just really like you know, one of those A-types that is all up in your grill because they're so competitive on account of that being how they validate themselves as a human being, winning by making other people lose. It's really messed up. Stay away. Just, I don't know if there's any way that you can help this person, water signs, and I really hope that it's not a bond that'll be difficult for you to cut ties with. But just watch out. So crossing that, let's see here. Nine of Pentacles. So if this is you, like staying your ground, protecting your households, like you are in it to win it, you may require some direction when it comes to how to maintain yourself. You know, the Knight of Pentacles usually needs like a little bit of help, say from a queen or king. Like they need to be told what to do, not on like a teenager level. I mean, this could be a teenager also. You know, if this is you, you may not have any idea what to do with your teenager, possibly. But I don't think that that is the case right now. I think this is more you doing what you need to do to stand your ground and sort of protect what it is that you hold sacred since the beginning of time, kind of sacredness. You don't want this person challenging who you are and what you stand for. So cutting your losses and walking away with the Eight of Cups, overlooking the situation. I feel like that just speaks for itself. Moving on to greener pastures, or purple pastures in this case. And we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands reversed within your subconscious. Yeah, this person is really sucking your energy. Oh, good. You're going to, I mean, just even for the purpose of regaining some of your energy back, you need to cut your losses and move on. Water signs. I don't know who this is with, and this isn't for everybody. I mean, like, we got what? 3 signs. Cancer, Pisces, and what's the other one? Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So you may be hearing messages about, you know, similar or different situations. Okay, we got a big chunk here. We have the Seven of Cups. So no matter what you choose, whichever direction you choose to move on, or actually, no, this is more in your past where, you know, you've had some decisions and choices. Like, you have a lot of choices, you have options, which is great. For whatever reason, at the same time, like, you're just sort of like not really balanced or grounded despite having a lot of. Actually, this is more celebration. I'm looking at this one and reading it. Okay, so let's not be confused right now. So past, wish fulfillment, celebration, maybe a little bit of overconsumption in the past. Immediate future, you may have some issues grounding yourself, but you don't have any issues making decisions. So that is good. Despite not being grounded right now or needing to get the ball rolling, and money might not be an issue for you. It might be an issue for you. Let's see here. You will do yourself some justice, though. Like, you know that you're doing yourself justice. Because you know what's meant for you. You know what's meant for you. You got a lot. You've done a lot. You've celebrated. Like, you have a lot of love in your life. So you know that, you know, things will come around. And that justice will be served. Maybe this, you got some Libra energy happening for yourself, too. That is entirely possible. Or your best friend is a Libra. Okay. So others see that you're not really where you want to be financially. That's okay. And you have this, okay, this is my favorite card. I keep saying, every time I see this card, it just makes me smile. So, the Queen of Swords is one of my favorite queens, just because she's fucking brilliant and honest. So, let's see here. This queen is your hope, I would say. I mean, you may have a fear of being too sharp or too harsh with your words and not sounding kind, because sometimes the Queen of Swords can be that way. Like, she's the person who dishes out a little bit of tough love and tells you the things that you don't want to hear. Like, this person is very okay with, you know, being the messenger that you want to shoot sometimes. Nonetheless, this person, in their awesomeness, is a great person to hope for. They have a brilliant mind, very centered in logic, also emotionally intelligent, and able to help foster and nurture people's minds. So this person is a teacher, and the kind of teacher that is very compassionate for the most part. Like, despite sounding sharp with their words, it's all out of love. It's like the true essence of tough love comes from the Queen of Swords, 100%. Okay, we got cards going over here. And again, cards going everywhere. All right. So the Page of Pentacles. We are not ending off with this pip, that's for sure. This court card. Page of Pentacles. So really struggling with money, struggling career-wise, financially. Like, you may be very much in between two, like a bad spot and a good spot, but not in a good way. So you're in between jobs. It's not good. This could also be a person in your life, but I think it's more you, water signs. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be in between good and bad. You could be in between two different things that are both very, very good. But the way that you are carrying yourself in between these two things, it could be some type of transition that you're going through. You could be leveling up career-wise, looking for new jobs. We got the Hierophant and the King of Swords. So, I mean, if this is two people, we have endless possibilities, really. But this is like your mind and your spirit, or, you know, what you want to do with your mind, how you want to educate yourself, how you want to run things versus what is ethical and what is true to your words, like walking your talk within your career. You might not be doing that. Ooh, that's heavy. It's heavy, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, so you need to channel your inner Spock, like your walk between how you, like, the words that come out of your mouth, what's ethical and what's logical, and are they all in alignment? Let's clarify this. We got the King of Cups. So yeah, emotional intelligence here. You really need to, this is the King of Compassion right here. So making sure that you are not causing, I mean, this is impossible, but like doing your best harm reduction wise, not causing any harm to anybody. That means, like, what are you doing that is robbing people of their consent? Or are you testing yourself or testing other people without them knowing about it? Things like those are the things that come to my mind when it comes to ethics and being compassionate, and also understanding about other people's experiences, and you have no idea what a person is going through in their life or what they've been through in their life. Right? So it's really, really important to treat everybody the same across the board. And that's tricky because people rub you the wrong way. And like, anger is valid so many fucking times. But sometimes you just gotta take the high road, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, that is a huge lesson for them that they are in the process of learning. They don't always take the high road. They may be hustling on some level, which is, you know, it is what it is. But if that's not what you want to be, if that's not how you want to roll, if that's not walking your talk, then you got to figure it out and switch it up. So we'll leave that for the water signs. Hopefully that applies to you. Or if it doesn't, then like, don't worry about it. It's not yours. It's not for everybody. But definitely when the Page of Pentacles reverse comes through, how you're making your money, how you're networking, your career goals, like, do they match how you present yourself? And what are you willing to learn, and what are you closing yourself off from learning? That's hard. You don't know what you don't know. So I really hope that you get the message, whichever water signs that applies to. So let's move into the earth signs. Ooh, we have the Page of Swords. All right. So Page of Swords is upright. So earth signs, you are on a mission to learn some new things. Or there's a person in your life who's a young novice of the mind on some level. It could be a Libra, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. And crossing that, we have the the Seven of Swords reversed. Okay, so this could be several things. This could be you and like coming to the realization that there is no, what are we doing again? I can't remember what signs we said we were doing. We went from water to earth. We're going to go with earth. I think this is earth signs I said. So realizing that there really is nobody against you, or there isn't anybody trying to plot against you in any kind of way, which is great. That might have been a concern for you. That may be something that you thought you needed to figure out how to deal with. But it looks like the way that you need to deal with that is to not attract it. So don't think about it. This is kind of like a forget about it. And if you're just tuning in, I'm sorry. I have some sinus issues happening. Okay, so overlooking the situation, earth signs, you have some new energy coming your way, some new experiences that you need to embrace on some level. And I may have to leave in just a moment to go blow my nose. This is getting to be a little bit out of control here. Here's my Kleenex. It was hiding. So you may have to sort of, I don't want to say ignore, but there might be some people in your life that really want you to stay where you are. Stay where you are, to follow suit, to continue on the road that you've been on. But I feel like at this time, you really just sort of need to challenge old ways and try something new. And that may mean falling on your ass, taking some risks, and then falling on your ass. But you really just want to be out with the old and in with the new on some level. Or just you want to leave the past behind you. And that's great. I know it sounds very cheesy, but that's great. So do it. Do it and learn to really like channel it. Like you're doing this basically because you are like you're coming together as one within yourself. Like you're experiencing a period of connection to the self, of growth, alignment, whether you want to see it as your masculine and your feminine, or your dark and your light. Not that, you know, you can place light and dark on that. Like you can, but you place light and dark on both, right? There's light in femininity and darkness, and in femininity, light in masculinity, and darkness in that as well, definitely. So this is just you also making decisions. It could be within matters of the heart, but because this is within your subconscious, I would say it has more to do with you making a choice to love yourself. Because like, you know, the wise RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? Not that that is the goal. Also, sometimes it's not really true. Like you can love people and not be whole. But in terms of quality, I feel like it's a really great goal to be loving yourself before you're trying to get other people around you. All right, so earth signs. We have the 5 of Cups. So, okay, it's reversed. Your attitude is optimistic. When the 5 of Cups is upright, it's definitely the card of pessimism. The bad outweighs the good. There's usually 3 spill cups and 2 upright cups. And, you know, it has to do with like some ordinary behavior from a person, and then another person feeling like they've been double crossed on some level, or just not wanting to deal with some bullshit from somebody. So it's conflict. It's a card of emotional conflict. It could even be inner conflict as well, especially if this card ends up in a place that is, you know, your main concern or within your subconscious. But here, we're all right. We have like a past where you're not really dealing with any poopy relationships in like more the immediate past, I would say. So if you've been sticking to yourself the past while, you've been doing the work, it sounds like, to get yourself in a good place, to do this, to experience this self-love in a way that is complete and full. And we have here the 10 of Pentacles. So moving into the near future, though, interestingly, despite this like emotional fulfillment and period of growth and experiencing self-love and wanting to take the plunge and do new things, we are kind of starting from the bottom again. We are in a place where we're just, you know, we're either not moving into the ace again, like where there's a blockage on some level to wish fulfillment and legacy building, which you would find with this upright position. So there is some type of blockage. It could be financially, you're just not secure. And, you know, when it comes to being a parent, having kids, and being a certain age, like there's expectations to be stratified to a certain level, on a certain level. And maybe that's just not happening for you. For some of you, maybe it is. Maybe this does not apply to you, but legacy building as well. So maybe you don't have, maybe you're an earth sign who doesn't have children. Like you have self-love, you have new projects, but you know, like there is a lack of legacy. But I really like, you know, the world is very overpopulated. I don't think you should have any huge concern. My only critique of, I shouldn't say critique because that is not what it is. Just making sure that you have somebody who's going to be around and that you're set up properly for when you need to be taken care of at the later stages in life. I don't think that that's something that you, that should not be the driving force to having children. Please don't do that. But maybe that's what you feel like. Maybe you feel like you don't have any, like you don't really have anything to show for, perhaps, or you just don't have that, the legacy that comes with children. But find yourself some chosen family, or look within your own family to the young people that are there, and be present to them. Or like be like, I feel like you will have no problem feeling confident that that is already the case, and that you're set. Okay. Yeah, you have plenty. I mean, at least, I would say at least, like, your attitude is very generous. Like, you are constantly thinking of others, of what they should receive, what people deserve. Like, you're very compassionate. That's amazing. And then we have the Chariot. So within your environment, other people see you as not moving forward, maybe at the speed they think you should be going, or that you're just not going to reach your goals. And, you know, that may appear to be true on some level. We have the Magician reversed, so you do have a fear of not setting your intentions well enough to be effective. Or you're also afraid of a person who's extremely manipulative, who messes with you. Maybe you've had people mess with you, and it's really hurt you and bothered you, or, you know, it's trauma, right? And trauma will make things look like you are being held back, and it's real. And people may judge you and think that you're not, you know, like you're making a mountain out of a molehill. But either way, being afraid of this as like an aspect of yourself, or as people with ill-intended others, my advice is to definitely not dwell on that too much. Don't be afraid of what other people's intentions are too much. It's really like, I need to take my own damn advice, especially if you've been through a lot and you really have zero trust for the world, or you're just like really afraid of making the same mistake because it was just devastating. So please figure it out. Talk to somebody, and, you know, like, again, this risk that's involved with taking the plunge. Where do we have that Fool card here? Overlooking your situation, you know, the above sees you as needing to take a risk, or the element of risk is above you, or is asking for you to rise to the occasion of taking a risk and trusting. And it's really, really hard. And I really think that that's where effective communication and transparency comes through with the people that you are choosing to trust. So having that conversation where you let people know, hey, I have massive trust issues, and it's really important that we could talk about this in a way where you're not taking it personally, and I'm also, you know, able to feel valid, you know. So if a person is able to not make you, but like validate your concern in a way that is effective and trustworthy. Go for it. Go for it. But yeah, there's this really good book. I can't remember what it was called. Maybe I'll put the link up in there too once I remember. It has to do with fear. Speaking of which, we have strength reversed, temperance reversed, and that was already out there. So these two popped out. Strength reversed and temperance reversed. Like your emotional flow, like the fluctuation of your waters of what gives you life is hindering your ability to tame your beast or to release yourself from like a state of ultimate control. So balance. I know that this was in a reading before. This, like, not this exact combination, but I read strength in a past reading recently. So we're still going through this. If it was an earth sign, we're definitely still dealing with this. And I feel like this is something that whoever this applies to, you're going to be dealing with this until you find yourself in a new, possibly romantic situation or amongst new friends that you have been able to put some time in with. And it's really important to trust your gut. And there's this book about fear. I will definitely post that. I think it's an audio book, but it's really about instinctual, like following your instincts and knowing when to listen to them. And it really just sort of unpacks that through some experiences that folks share. And it's definitely like a trigger. There are triggering stories. So it's not for, the faint of heart, but it's for people who, who have been through some stuff and really just are in need of some kind of like dialectical self-assurance through storytelling. So with that, my earth signs, thank you so much for checking out this reading. So glad to share this energy with y'all as an earth sign myself, and we are going to move on to we've done water, earth, we will do fire next. And you may hear my cat in the background. I'm actually going to excuse myself for a moment and grab some more water, so I will be right back. Okay, my bad. That took longer than I had anticipated, so we'll try to power through these last two readings. Having some battery charging technical issues. Nothing major though, so let's get through these reads. We decided on fire, so we've done, what was it? Water, earth, fire, and then we'll do air. So for fire signs, we have, wow, we've got the 9. So unlike the earth signs who pulled the 9 reverse, we have it upright. And you're good, fire signs. Like, you're happy with who you are, you're abundant, like your dreams are coming true. So if you are a Leo, if you are an Aries, or if you are a, what's the other one? Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, like, you're happy. You're taking care of yourself. You're good with where you're at financially, and you're healthy. And if this doesn't apply to you, then that's, you know, sort of at the core of your concern right now. And there is a person, though, that is emotionally manipulative who has, like, a, you know, there's an unhealthy power dynamic. If this is you, then you might be fooling yourself on some level. You may not really have it as good as you think that you do, or there's just something. There's just someone who does not feel the way that you want them to feel, or you do not feel connected to this for whatever reason, emotionally. So things are good, but you don't really think that they're good, or you're miserable. That could be it. Somebody's miserable, unfortunately. And wow, we have moving from the 9 to the 10. So more wish fulfillment, more like you have every reason to be happy and experiencing joy overlooking your situation. Abundance and love you're surrounded by that, but there's like this shadow that within. There's this shadow. Maybe you need to do shadow work, fire signs. Or maybe there's something on you that is emotionally wrecking you. This could be intergenerational. This could be trauma, intergenerational trauma, any kind of mental health. Like, the emotions affect our minds. Like, what we think fuels what we feel, and how we feel physiologically, you know, it messes with the way that we think and see the world. So, you know, from a harm reduction perspective, like, what is there anything that you've done to your body? Is there anything that you've done to your body, even though you're healthy? Your body might be healthy. So emotionally, there's something up that you really need to deal with, fire signs. This person, if this isn't you, like, this person is what's got you, is who has you down. Yeah. I think this person, whoever they are, they were never really the right person for you. That could be one scenario based on this 6 of Cups reversed. Also, so either they were never really good for you, they never really were the one or the person that you really had a truly authentic, strong connection with. You could also really miss your family. That's another indication of this card. So it could be that, you know, whoever you're with does not give you the emotional fulfillment as kindred spirits, as your actual family, as your soul family. Whether you have your soul family, have, you know, come into contact and are actively, you know, involved with your soul family. So That really sucks. This card kind of wants to come through. So it's really making it difficult for you to have good ideas, or ideas that you feel confident about. You may feel like who you are is, I don't want to say that who you are is being challenged, but I would definitely say that you've just sort of lost your life for things that have come easy for you on some level, or you're just not really feeling good about yourself. Like your self-esteem is impacted on account of being so emotionally lonely or emptiness. And you really need to change the way that you see things. You're in a period of, it's like this painful process that we go through to change our perspective on things. And however, whatever that perspective is, whatever that change is, whatever that view is that you need to see differently, it's, it's not easy, because you're basically hanging upside down, blood rushing to your head. There's pressure, It's a decision that's being made under pressure. Unfortunately. And it's definitely an emotional decision. Like you could be attached to two different ways of seeing things. Like you're just having a hard time letting go of maybe toxic behavior that you subscribe to on account of being emotionally insecure or not having the security that you need. So that is, that's something that you just kind of have to like suck it up. Learning how to tolerate your pain is basically the cure to toxicity, to aggressive behavior, to passive aggressive behavior. You have a lot of fun. You have people around you who, like, you're ready. You're always ready for fun. Like that's a gift. There's so much privilege, I feel like, that you experience despite this emotional feeling of like the cup being empty, this pessimism, this emotional pessimism. And you probably appear like you're in good spirits all the time, despite this, emotional withdrawal that you also experience simultaneously. And others see you as being party ready, as, really just having a lot of life and a lot of reasons to celebrate love. But, the way that others see us within our environment, that doesn't necessarily like mean that that's what we should be reflecting towards them. So be careful about, like if you really want to be authentic and if you really want that connection, and maybe the people you're surrounded with they don't look or sound or feel right. Maybe language is something that is a barrier. Maybe not being around relatives or people that don't look the same as you, or who you don't, wouldn't, like on a superficial level, appear to fit in with. Those things can be like sort of valid barriers but they're they're constructed, like we put them up ourselves, right? With the exception of language. That's something that you definitely have to work on to make sure that you're on the same page as people. But it's really, it might be a good idea to just like open up a little bit and be authentic with your with this emotional deficit that you experience. I should probably take my own advice on some level, that I'm not a fire sign today. So this one's for you, fire signs. Time to get open. And whatever, like, you have no, like, making a decision is not a problem for you. Maybe you really hope that it will, you know, a decision of where and when and how, like maybe you're just hoping that is, you know, comes easy for you on some level. So, I mean, that's a good, healthy hope to have, to know when the right place and the right time to have this, to experience this connection. Pardon me. So I think I did pretty good. That was only one sneeze this whole entire stream so far. So let's see here. We have the Four of Pentacles. So just be careful you don't rob yourself of an opportunity thinking too much about the when and the where. And, you know, don't hold on too tightly to, it could be your money, your ideas, but just also make sure you're like, or staying protected. I would say definitely don't hold on too tightly to staying protected and keeping your things protected, because, you know, energy suckers are out there and it's important to be protected from them, but it's also important, like I was talking about with the water signs, I believe, no, the earth signs, to take risks a little bit, you know, especially if it's for health, emotional health. You need to take risks and open up to people sometimes. And again, I should be taking my own advice, but let's try to do this together a little bit next time around. I hope that by then, the next set of readings I do, that you have taken a little bit of a risk, or at least put yourself in a position where you can safely open up emotionally to some trustworthy individuals. So with that, fire signs, thank you so much. And we will move on now to the last but not least, air signs. So we are doing Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Geminis, this is your moon. So we're under some airy energy right now at this exact moment, with the waning moon in Gemini. And that's sidereal. So if it's tropical, I believe it would still be in Taurus. So some earthy if you're interested, or even depending where you're at on the globe. The moon moves so quickly, so by the time you've made your accurate prediction, or accurate positioning of the moon, it has moved. All right, air signs, the Lovers. So this is not, damn. So the air signs are struggling a little bit, or at least, you know, some of you making a decision. How, like, what does self-love look like for you? Or are you in a predicament where, you know, you're having to choose between two people? This is your card, Gemini. So there's just some decision making. Maybe you're just a little bit indecisive, like you've got emotionally, you know, you've got a little bit of that Seven of Cups energy happening for you. But this is not necessarily bad. This is a concern. It's a concern, right? This is not at the core of who you are. We're not there yet. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. So you're maybe indecisive about where you need to go career-wise. You could be very bored with what you're doing right now and not feeling good about yourself with what you're doing. Maybe you want some more purpose. Maybe you're just impatient. Maybe you're not in the right place, though, where, you know, things are moving as quickly as you'd like them to be. Overlooking the situation, though, like you're good, you're grounded, things are moving despite you being feeling like a little monotonous about it. And, you know, I feel like this is the right place and the right time for you. Like there's good money energy, there's good health energy. And maybe this has to do with your health more than anything. Maybe this reverse Lovers card means that like self-love is an issue for you, or doing that shadow work, or balancing your masculine and femininity, and finding where where you fit in on that, I don't know, like, can you call it a spectrum? But what fits for you. And it looks like whatever you choose is going to be, I would say, critical, but also, a reflection of, the solidity, like a reflection of how solidity is not a word. Reflection of how solid your foundation is. And that's tricky for us air signs. I got some air signs happening in my chart. It's tricky to be grounded when you're an air sign sometimes, because everything is all in our, we want everything to all be in our mind to manifest from the mental level. And the earth does not come from the air always, right? Being grounded is a mindset, but it also requires like physical action. So maybe you need to get grounded on some level. And there's some drama though. Interestingly, I feel like it's you robbing yourself though. On some level, you're stealing yourself of an opportunity, or there's just like somebody, this could even be, I feel like this could even be like some past life shit, or just like some activity on a subconscious level, like spiritually you are being robbed for whatever reason. I would just watch out. Staying grounded and being confident in who you are and how powerful you are, how powerful of a mind you have. I really think that it's important that you do not rob yourself of opportunities. But you can't, like, no one can steal your soul. That's something that you have to give up. That's a choice that you make. So make sure you're choosing wisely. Who or what are you giving your power to? And that's tricky, because like if you got some shit going on, like if you have things like, if you have valid trauma issues, if you have, if you're like dealing with lateral violence, or like the crabs in the bucket, like that shit's heavy. There's heavy loads that we carry, right? And it's the same thing here. Like this person, they're trying to, they got too much. Like you can't walk, like why would you walk away with 5 swords? Like what are you gonna do? Like that's too much. How are you gonna fight with 5 swords? Good luck. 2 hands and 5 swords. For what? So maybe you're taking on too much, and that in turn is robbing yourself of quality of life, but don't let this get you down. Like, do not let this give yourself another reason to beat yourself up over, like, because you have power. You just have to channel it from above. Like, interestingly, there's some earth energy above you that you need to connect with. So I don't know, go climb a tree. Or go visit your local giraffe at the zoo. Like, go be around some animals in nature. Like, there's ways. Figure it out. You can do it. Like, you have the minds, you have the power. Your mind is powerful. You can do this. And in the past you've really put a lot of good energy in the right direction. So it's landing. Maybe it's not landing how you wanted it to. There's some blurps along the way, but I would say that you're sort of in an advanced position, and something's going to come to an end. I feel like this bullshit right here within you, it's going to come to an end. Like, this clean slate energy sounds like a good message. I received some clean slate energy messages from readings that I watched. So I really think that, this death card is valid. It's relevant. It's relevant. So parts of you, you know, they're gonna end. You know, the collective spread at the beginning, there was a tower moment there, you know, death and the tower are similar. So your attitude though is, I don't know, like, you need to figure out how to do the right thing, how to set your mind to some things, because your mind right now is not nurturing your surroundings, and maybe find like, you know, seek guidance from some Queen of Swords type of energy, from someone who is able to nurture your mind, a good teacher. You know, you may have burned some bridges, but you need somebody to teach you how to, you know, like, find your Obi-Wan. Or find your, you know, be Rey and find your Luke Skywalker. Maybe that's where you're at right now. You know, stuck on the mountain with a bunch of books, wondering what the hell to do, right? It's not easy. Reaching out for help is not easy. Especially if you're like, you know, have a do-it-yourself kind of approach to. Okay, the way that others see you though, they see you as like a kindred spirit. They like you. People like you, air signs. And I can see why. I'm not just saying that because I'm an air sign, but I find that air signs are extremely charismatic, and I thoroughly enjoy a good Libra, a good Gemini, especially. I love me some Geminis, and also Aquarians. Like, Aquarians are golden. I am always so impressed and awestruck by the golden people, aka Aquarians. So thank you to all the fabulous air signs who are out there. The world would not be the same without you. Page of Cups. Okay, so I don't know why. I feel like maybe you're afraid of being emotionally immature, I would say. I don't know. Like, so we're going to look at the good traits and the bad traits of the Page of Cups. Like, the Page of Cups can be very sweet. Sweet and loving and, you know, really just want to make everybody feel good, right? Also very immature. Like, they're not going to, like, they'll show up, but they're not really going to stay the whole time. They're not really interested. They're not going to be as supportive as you think, as they may come across, you know? They'll be there, they'll love you, but it's really just like, it's like a kid being there and loving you. But they're such a blessing to have pages, you know? I don't know, I just feel love for the pages out there, but the Page of Cups is definitely not. They can be a player as well. Like, when you're dealing with, you know, that type of maturity of a negative way, they're not interested in being supportive or consistent for even a second. And they may not even be a very good player. Like, there's nothing really consistent about a Page of Cups. Alright, so we're ending off with quite a few pips here. We've got the Knight of Wands. Now, this is the person that you want to have your back, though. This is the person who